Welcome, and this next strategy is called Watching Me, Watching You. And it's got a couple hidden agendas built into it, so you have to kind of think beyond just the surface of what's going on here. So we have a s- simulation of a whiteboard. You could use your board in your classroom or an Interwrite board or a smart board, it's fine. But on one side, you want to have a teacher spot for points, and on one side, you want to have a student spot for points. And what you do before engaging in this activity with students, you want them to state the behaviors that they don't want their teacher to exhibit in a given time period. For example, some things that I would do as a teacher that I would consider a bad behavior would be to turn my back on students when I'm talking or writing. So I might say, okay, back to students. But the students would tell me this. They would say, Mr. Z, you put your back to the students when you're talking. We can't hear you. You're blocking the board, whatever that may be. Maybe I have a little bit of idiosyncrasies in when I speak. So maybe it's things like no, and okay. If I say those, that would be like a redundant speech pattern behavior that students are annoyed by. For me, then I tell the students what I think their behaviors are that I wish they would not exhibit. So, for example, I might say, let's just name like probably no more than two or three you want to do. So, calling out, talking, and we could go with out of seat behavior. So, if students exhibit any of those behaviors, I consider those to be bad behaviors. And then you go into a series of watching each other during the lesson. What's great about this is students are really paying attention to everything you say and do, which isn't a win in and all by itself, just to have them watch you consistently throughout the time period. So every time that the teacher exhibits one of those bad behaviors, the students get a point. So if I go to the board and I'm talking with my back is to the students, they'll call me on it, they get a point. If I catch student or students doing one of their bad behaviors listed, then I get the point. So all of a sudden, students talking in the corner, oh, caught them talking, point for me. This goes on and on for the whole period. What happens at the end is, if the students exhibit the behaviors more than the teacher wins. If the teacher wins, well, that can be a lot of things. It could be the fact that they take a reward for themselves. That might be, I'm taking an extra day to grade those papers, or I'm gonna go make a cup of coffee right now and gonna finish by half of it. Have a little fun with the students. You can say, oh, I can just sit down and read a book for 2 minutes. Sorry, guys, I won. Or the students can pick their reward, which would be from your chosen reinforcers. Maybe it's the fact that they get, 10 minutes of cell phone time, choice cell phone time next day. They get whatever reinforcer, maybe a food reinforcer, a break reinforcer, a extra credit reinforcer if they win. But it gets you kind of to pay attention to each other and to kind of also explicitly say what are the target behaviors that not only you want students to exhibit, but you as a teacher want to work on. And that's just a strong message because I think a lot of times we look at ourselves as being on a podium and looking down at students saying, well, we already exhibit the best behavior. You need to emulate what we do. But we aren't always cognizant of the fact that we sometimes exhibit behaviors that aren't the best. And that can become problematic as well. So there's a kind of a mutual agreement here that we all need to work on something. And it also gets students engaged in watching you all the time, which again is a hidden agenda here. So again, this is watching me, watching you. I hope you give it a try and hope you enjoy it.